Hi, guys. Hello. Oh my gosh, I have missed you. I have missed you, friends. It has been way too long. And I'll tell you, it's not for lack of trying. My friends, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. As always, I hope that it inspires you, that it energizes you, and just maybe it'll land with the right people that might need this little nugget right now to help them progress forward, both in life and in business. And again, I've missed you guys. So in the very beginning, what was it, around June 6th, maybe, my family and I headed out for a family vacation. We took a voyage. It was quite the adventure, driving to Florida. It was the first vacation of our family of six. And let's just say that everything, like, there was a lot, it was like issue after issue, challenge after challenge after challenge. It was really, really difficult. But what that did was kind of take me out of my element for a bit. And I was still working with my team, still working with my clients, but I did not go live. And on many occasions that I really wanted to, it was inopportune to say the least. But what it got me thinking of, because it's been a little bit since I've had this live conversation with you, or maybe you're catching this on a podcast, but it got me thinking, why was it so challenging for me upon getting back midweek last week? Why was it such a challenge for me to get back into, doing my lives, getting some content out there to help you guys out, to help just pour some love and life and fire under your ass. But why was it was challenging for me to get back there? And I think what I realized is that it came down to being out of my element, specifically for my morning routine. Specifically for my morning routine. And, if you are someone that have you ever felt like little things can get to you fairly easily? And if so, have no shame in that, okay? That it's something I know all too well. I spent most of my life sweating the small stuff, so to speak. And I'll never forget something my dad shared with me literally like 48 hours before he died. I remember sitting at the foot of the bed and my back was to him, and I couldn't even look at him because I knew what was coming next. And so I couldn't look at him. And I remember him saying behind me as he was laying in bed, he said, "Just promise me, just don't sweat the small stuff anymore." And I remember thinking, that's what I do. I sweat small stuff. I make mountains out of molehills. And that's just who I was. That was back in like 2009. And, every time I think of something that I no longer want to be like, or a habit that I have that I no longer want to have. Do y'all have any of those? Do you have any of those where it's like, you develop a poor habit and you're like, gosh, I really hate that I do that. I really hate that I always hit my snooze button. Or I hate that, I say I'm going to go to the gym and then I don't do it. Or I don't know, maybe you have a sweet tooth and you're like, that you shouldn't have sugar, but you still are eating, you're still in the pantry every day getting a little bit of sugar fix on. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody have any of those things that you recognize what they are, you don't like it, but you're like, oh, why do I do that? Why am I like that? What I've learned, and let me know if any of that related, if you resonated with any of that, drop some hearts in the comments so I know that I'm not alone, because I have literally felt all those things. But what I have learned, and what I remembered when my dad said, just don't sweat the small stuff anymore. I remember thinking, okay, that's a lot easier said than done. all of these things that like I don't want to be anymore, or I don't want to be like, or habits that I have that I no longer want to have. And same for you. It's so critical that if we recognize something like that, not only that we become displeased enough with it that we do something about it, but that we replace it with something different, that we replace it and have a practice in place so that we don't fail, so that we can stop doing the thing that we don't like and start winning where we want to win. Guys, does that sound like a better option? Like, does that literally sound like a better option? I want to help you. I want to help you have more control over the things that you don't like instead of being reactionary in your life. Like that was me. I was always reacting to things. I was sweating the small stuff and always reacting to things. I felt like, and my actions would absolutely support that I had a lack of control. I had a lack of sense of control. Did you ever feel like things in your life that you don't like? Did you ever feel like you don't have control over it? It's a terrible feeling. Like, drop in the comments, what does that make you feel like when you feel like you don't have control over something in your life? For me, that made me feel like I would lose sleep. I would lose sleep. And then, of course, I was tired. And then I had to deal with being tired. And then the whole navigating my entire day feeling tired. I want to share something with you that literally changed my life. It changed my life so profoundly and made me far less susceptible to sweating the small stuff and less susceptible to breakage. Okay. It literally made me feel like I had more control, like I was unstoppable, like I was unbreakable, that I knew life was going to come at me, right? Every day. I love how Tony Robbins says, guys, let me know if you've heard this before. Tony Robbins says, the only problem is that you think you shouldn't have problems. The only problem with problems is that you think you shouldn't have any. It's like, hello, everybody's got problems. How my thinking is, okay, if I always feel like I have problems, how can I take that? How can I remove that and minimize the impact of problems that are certain, that are going to happen no matter what we do in life? And if you're following me and you're linked to me on Facebook, you're probably following me for business advice as well. Guys, wouldn't that feel so much better to have more control? So I'm going to share with you one thing and it's a big thing. It's probably my biggest thing. It's probably the biggest thing that I felt disrupted in these last couple weeks, with challenge after challenge after challenge after this vacation that was supposed to be a lot shorter than it was, but due to unforeseen circumstances, ended up being twice as long. So twice as long. It took me out of my element, and specifically my morning routine. Do you guys have a morning routine? Like, and I don't just mean getting up, brushing your teeth, and getting your coffee. That goes without saying. But do you have a very intentional, very strict, unwavering morning routine? Does anybody have one? Or do you wish you had one? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. And if you're listening to this on a podcast later, I would message me. I'd love to hear, do you have one, or would you like to have one? Because when I think back to the times that I was not able to get ahead, that I was sweating the small stuff, that I was working so many jobs and barely getting ahead, that I felt like a lot of things were uncontrollable around me, though, where I felt tired, sad, depressed, where I wasn't healthy, I wasn't in a good space physically or mentally. That during that time, which was a lot of my life, by the way, I'm not happy to admit that, but it's true. It's the truth. I lacked a morning routine. I lacked a morning routine. And here's why. a morning, or drop hashtag morning routine in the comments, friends, because this is a big deal. This is why it matters most. It arms you internally. It arms you from the very first moment you wake up. It's like a decision. I'm deciding to arm myself because I don't necessarily know what life is going to bring my way today. It arms you from the first moment you wake up so that you're stronger internally and less susceptible to breakage. And you got to do it all the time. It's a morning routine. Like, you do it all the time, because after each day, sometimes you need to sleep, you need to recharge, you need to continue. Then you're going to wake up and do it all over again. How do we do it better today than we did yesterday? We make ourselves less susceptible every single day to damage from whatever the world brings our way, whatever uncertainty falls our way. I used to be that person that I would react with when uncertain things happened. I would react, and I would like total, like there was no staying on course. It was like the wheels got wobbly, they flew off the wagon, and I was just like in a ditch somewhere. That's what it felt like. Now I already know that unexpected things are going to happen, so I prepare ahead of time. I also do this so that I call my day. I call the shots. Drop it in the comments. I call the shots. When you have a morning routine and you call the shots, you get to literally train your brain. You get to train your brain to focus on what you determine is important, on what you determine you want your day to be like. Like, literally, you have an opportunity before anyone gets in your way. And I have to do this before my tiny humans wake up, because when my tiny humans wake up, I have no idea what's going to happen. Is anybody else a parent? And how many kids you got? Tell me how many kids you got in the comments, because if you're a parent, you understand. I don't know what's going to happen when any one of my 4 tiny people wake up. It's like, it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess. So if I train my brains with my morning routine on what to focus on that day, and I call the shots, I already, guys, when you just said in your mind, or even in the comments, when you just said, I call the shots, how does that make you feel? Even just saying it, how does it make you feel when you say, hey, I call the shots? What does that feel like? I know what it feels like to me, because I'm already feeling it right now. But what did that feel like to you when you said it? What does it feel like? What kind of energy floods through you when you say something like that? Okay. Here's the last thing, the reason why a morning routine is important. When you have a routine of any kind and you follow through with it, you acquire something called discipline. Okay. Everybody thinks, that they don't have enough time, or they don't have enough skills, or they don't have, their circumstances aren't right, or they have so many reasons that they talk themselves out of why they can't do what it is they want to do, or why they are not yet in life where they want to be. And it's really not any of those things. All it is, it's discipline. It's discipline that people lack. Okay. When you acquire a practice that requires discipline, it spills over. This practice spills over into everything else in your life. In life and in business, you start feeling like, I am someone that is disciplined. I am someone that when I say I'm going to do something, or I set out to do something, I actually do it. And guess what happens when you do that? When you do that, can you guess what happens? When you follow through on what you say you're going to do, your confidence. So many people, I gotta tell you guys, so many of my amazing clients have said that they're challenged with confidence. So many people in my profession, in the network marketing space, are like, gosh, I just wish I had more confidence to do this type of stuff. Anybody ever thought that? Hands up in the comments if you've ever felt like you wanted more confidence. Well, guess what? When you acquire discipline, you start to boost your confidence every time you follow through on something that you plan and you set out to do, and you do it. You acquire confidence, right? That nobody can take away from you, that nobody can tell you you don't deserve, because you did the things that are deserving of the confidence, right? Oh my gosh, I can't stress it enough. People ask me all the time. They ask me all the time, Coop, how do I get more? How do I, how did you get to be so confident? And the reality is, I'm a very disciplined person, starting with the one thing, the most important thing in my day is my morning routine. My morning routine is everything. Can I share with you guys? Would you like to hear a bit about my morning routine? Now, I should also say this, my morning routine doesn't necessarily need to be your morning routine, but the only bad routine is to not have one. Okay. I should also say the only bad routine is to not have one. And the one that you do have, make sure that that the activity parallels what it is you're hoping to accomplish in your life, with your love, with your health, with your business, with finances, whatever it is. Make sure that your morning routine parallels the things that you want to accomplish. You guys with me so far? It is a drop out. I'm with you, Coop, if you guys are with me. But now I'd love to share with you. My gosh, my foot is asleep. I've got pins and needles in my ankle. I'd love to share with you what my morning routine is, in case it helps you kind of get some, juices flowing, get some ideas going. Here's the very first thing. I am up early. Am I a morning person? Not really. I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not a morning person. Neither was I. Neither was I, until I disciplined myself to become one. I swear to you, I was like, oh my, I call it the snooze button of death. The snooze button of death, because every time you hit that snooze button, it's like you're saying no to your dreams, no to your goals, no to the things that you want to do. And once I understood that, and I was like, wait a second, hold on. This is completely in my control. Do I like it? Not always. Definitely not always. Would I love to stay cozy and snuggled up in bed, cozy and warm and all in my little space? Yeah, more often than not. But I don't, because I made a choice. I started controlling my controllables. And when I get up, that is a controllable. That is a decision. Am I a morning person? No. But my disciplines would say otherwise. So that's the very first thing I do. I get up early, because I don't want any person's voices. I don't want any emails. I don't want any, like, I don't want anything coming at me before I'm armed and ready. So I'm up at about 4:40 every day. 4:40. I know it's crazy. You guys think I'm nuts, but I have 4 tiny humans and they are literally unpredictable. I need to make sure that I can get through my morning routine so that people always say, how do you do it with 4 kids? I get up earlier. And I get shit done before they all get in my way. It's the truth. Guys, it's what I have to do in order to grow where I want to grow in life, in health, in business, with all of it. I'm happier when I feel like I'm moving forward, and so are you. So I have to do things that help me feel like I'm moving forward. You picking up what I'm putting down? Drop a I feel you, Coop, in the comments if you're feeling this. Okay. The next thing I do, I'm up at 4:40. Very first thing I do is my gratitude and my goal setting. Active gratitude, literally in a journal, 10 things I'm grateful for. 10 things I'm grateful for, and 3 goals. Short term, long term, whatever, as long as they are goals. 10 things I'm grateful for and goal setting every single day. Why am I doing this? Do you ever feel like you're scatterbrained? Do you ever feel like, oh my gosh, there's literally squirrels taking residence in my brain, and like it's like they're all over the place doing their own thing, and that one's a little drunk and that one's blind, and they're just all over the place. You ever felt like that before, where you feel really scatterbrained? I feel you, and I am there more often than you think. The reason that I do gratitude and goal setting is so that I'm programming my mind and my subconscious to work for me when I'm not paying attention. When I'm having those squirrely moments, I want my brain to automatically recognize things that I'm grateful for, that things that I appreciate. I'm a very appreciative person. Why? Because most of my life I wasn't. So I really know the difference. I know the difference. And I can always tell the people that lack gratitude by their words, by their mannerisms, by the way they present themselves. They're not bad people. I can just tell if they're coming from a place where they actually lack gratitude, and most people don't even know it. Okay, I can tell because I used to be that person. I'm also programming my brains on my goals every single day. Why? Again, I need my actions and my thoughts and my behaviors to work for me when I'm busy managing my kids, when I'm busy, kissing boo-boos and changing diapers and going back and forth to the school and doing catching up on the emails from school and the homework and the this and the that, the doctor's appointments, all the things. I need my goals in my brains so that when I do get into action, the things that I'm actioning on are specific, and I already know if they are in alignment with my goals because I reviewed my goals earlier that morning. Does that make sense, guys? I'm literally programmed. Your brain is like a computer. It's like it literally doesn't know right, wrong, good, bad. It's indifferent. It only knows what you program it. And it only sends to the recycling bin what you tell it to. I kid you not. I kid you not, because I am a formerly like a computer full of viruses. That was me in my brains. And I cured it. And this is part of how I did it. Okay. So gratitude and goal setting. Here's the next thing I do. I move right into my personal development. I'm talking good energy, discipline, hard work, leadership, sales and closing, influence and persuasion, best success practices from the very, very best in the entrepreneurial space. Okay. I read their books. I listen to their podcasts. I watch and listen to their YouTube videos. I do all of these things every single day. My friend Brandon made a good analogy with this before. He said, picture that you've got a cup full of mud in your brain. If you continue to pour clear water into that cup, what happens to that mud? That eventually overflows, and eventually that cup becomes more clear, doesn't it? So the more goodness I'm pouring into myself, it literally washes away the bad. Okay. I'm pouring in so much good all the time. Again, that pertains to my goals, to my dreams, to my aspirations. Literally, my focus is I pour my personal development into my brains so that it's always clear. Well, I shouldn't say always clear. I have 4 kids. My brains are never clear, but you know what I mean, right? Drop some hearts in the comments if you know what I mean. Hi, Linda. Hi, Star. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Priscilla. Good to see you guys. So, literally, that's what I do. Here's what I do next. As I'm doing my personal development, do you ever like hear something, a song lyric, a commercial, you read something in a book, you hear it on a podcast, maybe you hear something from me in a live video training. When you hear a nugget that hits you and you're like, oh gosh, I really resonated with that, record it. Go ahead and drop it in the notes on your phone. By the way, this is also, I forget what podcast number it is for me. Guys, my podcast is Crave the Close, and we're searchable on Apple and Spotify. And thank you if you guys have already downloaded. I appreciate you. I don't think it goes unnoticed. I'm very, very grateful. I never know who downloads it though. So let me know if you have downloaded Crave the Close. I'm very appreciative. And for those of you that don't know about it, I can tell you in case you want to download it, I appreciate you. And just want to make sure that you hear my gratitude and sincere thanks to that. I forget what number it is, but when I talk about never running out of content, I think I may have even titled it something along the lines of never, a secret hack to literally never running out of content ever. This is one of them where I will take little nuggets that hit me and I record them in a note on my phone that I always back up because God forbid if I lost my phone, I literally would lose my brains that I record in the notes. But like I record ideas for content creation. How can I create content around those things? They hit me for a reason. And I come to you and I share those reasons and kind of my thoughts behind it and hope that it inspires you as well and helps it resonate with you too. So that's the next thing I do. I record content nuggets. The next thing I do after that is I pull a piece of content that's really speaking to me or that I'm feeling, heavy on my heart. Like I really just want to share it. I think it can help people. It's speaking to me. I choose a piece of content like that. And then I decide, am I going to do it in a post? Am I going to do it in a reel? Am I going to do it in a color text post? How am I going to deliver that piece of content? And I don't overthink it. Then I go ahead and I create that content piece. So by now, people are starting to stir in their beds. And I know that they're going to be getting up shortly. So the next thing I do is I grab a Post-it or something that I can bullet the most important things that I need to do today. And I do this every single day. Sometimes I do it on a Post-it, sometimes I drop it in my phone, but I always have a to-do list bulleted with the most important things that I need to do first. Okay. And by the way, follow specific people's names that I need to follow up with to continue the sales cycle or to close business that day. They are always by name on that Post-it. Okay. So I hope that helped you, friends. Let me know if that was helpful. All the reasons that I shared with you why a morning routine is important. I'm telling you right now, you will never meet a successful person ever that is not obsessed with their morning routine. You won't. You just won't. All of them have that in common. And believe it or not, that's why I started doing it myself. I thought, well, gosh, Les Brown is talking about it. John Maxwell's talking about it. Ed Milet's talking about it. Hal Elrod's talking about it. Tom Bilyeu's talking about it. They're all talking about it. There's got to be something to it. So I started doing it myself. And I'm telling you, beyond the shadow of a doubt, every day I start off with an attempt to win the day just by doing my morning routine. I become someone that I can trust, is a disciplined person that follows through with what I say I'm going to. I've got all this goodness poured into my brains before, my kid can wake up and come downstairs with a fever and like puking, because that happens. But I can handle it and I'm unbreakable because I have armored myself every single day from the inside out. And that, my friends, has been a huge piece of how I'm able to win most of my days. Let me know if this was helpful for you guys. Okay, let me know if you got some value out of it. Drop hashtag value. And of course, if it was valuable, I invite you to share this with your business partners, with your teams, out on your walls, because I guarantee there's a lot more people out there that could be winning more in life and in business with simply implementing a morning routine. It has been a game changer for me in so many ways, my friends, and I hope so for you too. All right. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Talk to you later. Mhm.